Hey guys, this is Hunter, and this is the much requested home studio tour slash rig rundown video thing. Basically, I'm going to show you a bunch of gear. This is actually really awkward for me, so I'm just going to turn the camera around and show you the gear. So I figured we'll start over here with the guitars. Going from left to right, here is the bass that I use for all the demos. It's a Squier vintage modified Jaguar short scale bass. Honestly, I've been thinking of selling this and getting a 5-string bass instead. This just doesn't really handle drop B all that well. I have to run it through the Digitech drop and it just doesn't sound the same. But yeah, if you're wondering where my bass tone comes from, it's all from this thing. That's Toko Toko, by the way. He just kind of guards the bed. If you've ever played Ni no Kuni, you know what that is. Girlfriend made him, he's chill. Up next is the first guitar that I ever got. It is a Squier Bullet Strat. It's super middle school. Pickups have been swapped out for the Buddha Hammerhead set, and I moved the volume knob down by removing a tone so it wouldn't get in the way of my down picking. Really, really like the neck. It rings a lot though, so it's got double hair ties. Really needs new tuners, but yeah, plays great, so keep it around. Next is a guitar that you guys see in a lot of my videos. It is my Epiphone G400 Custom. I wouldn't say this is my best playing guitar, but it's one of my best sounding guitars. The Sharkbite set, the Buddha Sharkbite set in there is awesome, and the Seymour Duncan Fat Cat adds a lot in the middle. Probably the guitar that's traveled the most. It was made in Korea, bought it in the USA. It's been back and forth between here and China 4 or 5 times. Love this guitar. I lent it to a friend and they lent it to a friend and they got damaged, and I was so mad because they didn't tell me. But yeah. That's why I don't lend guitars to anybody anymore. Next is a guitar that looks very similar. It's a Harley Benton DC604. I actually don't sell these in the States anymore thanks to the new rosewood regulations. My contact at Tomon says that they're working on replacing all the rosewood in Harley Bentons with stuff like roasted maple and man-made materials, which is really cool in my opinion. The only one that I've tried is Richlight, and if you told me it was high quality ebony, I would have believed you in an instant. This guitar has the Buddha Trident set in there. It's basically modeled after a Nazgul in the bridge, but with extra ceramic magnets. There's 3 of them in there, like a Black Winter, so it's kind of in between a Black Winter and a Nazgul. The neck is modeled after a Sentient, I think that's what it's called, and the middle is Fat Cat. Don't play this guitar that much because the neck is a little thicker than I like, and the bridge and tuners need replacing, but it sounds great because of the Buddhas in there. So yeah, that's that one. And this is one of the best playing guitars in the world. This is the ESP Eclipse 2 USA Standard. Whoops, and there goes the pick. Love this guitar. The only thing that I've done is I've done the 18 volt mod. Gave the EMGs a little less compression, a little more headroom. Yeah, this guitar is it's just great. Then it's my 1972 highly modified Gibson Les Paul Custom. The reason I was able to afford this is because I got just the body off of eBay, so no hiccups, no hardware, and also, as you can see down there, actually, can you see that? Somewhere over the guitar's 45-year life, one of the previous owners decided there wasn't enough sustain. So you can see there that they've installed very poorly a metal block for extra sustain. And that was drilled for import bridges, not regular Gibson bridges. So that's why it's got one of the Epiphone style bridges instead of the Gibson style bridges. But yeah, modified with Spurzle locking tuners, this custom brass engraved Les Paul Custom truss rod cover, EMG 81X 60X set. This guitar is just super classy. I love it, and it's, you know, beaten to heck all over. Love it. Okay, and last on the rack, it's a prototype for something that I'm super excited to share with you guys, but I'm not going into too many details right now. I can go through the specs. Flame nipple top, mahogany body, mahogany neck, ebony fingerboard, Godo locking tuners, and bridge CTS pots, orange drop capacitors, switchcraft jack, bone nut, Nutric jack. I mean, this thing is fully loaded. Satin finish on the neck as well, super thin, super fast. Right now, it's got Seymour Duncan, JB, and 59 pickups in there. They're the ones that had lying around. Not entirely sold on them. They'll probably be switched out with either Buddha Shark Bites or EMG JH set. But for now, yep, that's what I'm rocking in this thing. And you'll be seeing it in a lot more demos very soon. Oh, it's also got Schaller type, oh shit. It's also got Schaller type strap locks. So yeah, that's the newest one. Looks really cool. Now, a lot of you haven't seen this. This is my acoustic 6-string. It's a Martin SWGTXLM. Oh, I don't know. It's basically one of the sustainable series. It's made out of cherry, and it sounds really cool. If you see any of my acoustic covers, this is what I'm using to play all of the melodies. And lastly, this is my Martin 12-string. A buddy of mine bought this while he was living in the States, and then he went back to India after college. So he sold this to me for $200 or something, and it sounds fantastic. Again, if you see any of the acoustic covers, all the rhythm is done with this guitar, and it sounds, I mean, it just sounds heavenly. So next to the guitars, we have Jet City Custom 5 that needs to go back, a bunch of pedals that I've got demos of, except for this one, which I need to make a demo of. But all these are Vic Audios, Electro Harmonics, East River Drive, it's like a Tube Screamer clone, Dr. J Arsenal Distortion, which is a good distortion pedal. Like, it's actually a really good distortion pedal for an amp with a good clean channel, and DoD Overdrive Preamp 250. I really like this pedal. Like, by itself, in a mix, I can't figure out what to do with this thing. By the way, I do have demos for all these and more. They were some of my early videos. So for those of you who have been around since 200 subscribers-ish, thank you so much for sticking around, because those early videos were kind of rough. Over here, something else that's going to be on the channel very soon. Turns out they're only a 20-minute drive from me, so that's really cool. Right, so moving on to the side of the room that you guys are more familiar with, because you see it in the videos. This I call Tone Mountain, Georgia, because it's in Georgia and Stone Mountain is a thing, so I thought that pun made sense. So here's the Agufish cup, clear tone 9s, a Rivera Rock Crusher, power attenuator, and load box. I use that, or at least I used to monitor through the cab down there, but the speaker cable broke, so now it's just there for show. This is a Mesa dual rectifier 2010 multi-watt version. Love it. Favorite amp ever. This is PB6505 Plus 2006, back when they're still made in the USA. Picked it up on Craigslist for like $300, $350. This is Marshall DSL 100H. Also picked it up on Craigslist, traded in the 6505 plus 112 combo plus a 12-pack of Tecate for this beast. I don't use it as much as the other two. I'm just not as familiar with it, and I thought about selling it, but every time I plug into it, I remember why I keep it around. It sounds awesome. Mesa 2x12 cab, also got off of Craigslist. It is beaten to shit. If you haven't noticed, that's how I get a lot of this gear, is from Craigslist. Pedalboard, Boss CE2, Behringer VD400, 2 ISP decimators, Boss Tuner, Digitech Drop. This is my favorite pedal ever, Ibanez TS9. Foot switches for the Mesa and the Marshall. I plan on getting one for the 6505 very soon. Everything is powered by an MXR ISO brick. And then over here, which I don't really use that much, is a Dunlop Original Crybaby. So these amps plug in to my 2 Notes Torpedo Live, which is like a load box and a cab sim. So I don't actually use a cab for most of these demos. It is way too loud. And on top of that, I've got 3 pedals, which I normally don't use, but sometimes switch in. We have an Electro Harmonics Soul Food, really cool clone. A Maxon OD 808 Extreme, which is like an OD 808, but more extreme. And this is really cool. It's a Floridian, it's a Floridian FX. It's a fuzz. It's called the Mad Butt Weasel. Unlike a lot of other fuzzes, this actually sounds really good on a dirty channel. which is why I like it. It just turns a dirty channel fuzzy. It's really cool. So that and this mess of wires is sitting on top of my editing computer, which is a Hackintosh. The specs, I can't remember off the top of my head. I put it together myself, but I can't remember the specs, so they'll be on the screen right now, which is why I'm talking. I'm just wasting time, so that way I have a chance to put all the specs on for you to read. It's got really cool inner LEDs, water-cooled. Yeah, it's an absolute monster of a computer. Does really well for exporting in 4K. Moving on to the very messy desk, this is where I do all my editing and recording. Hair ties, very important. Sitting on top of KRK Rocket 5s. This is an Acer monitor, 2K, 25-inch. By the way, this is my screensaver. This is Pad, he does all the mixes. And this is Pad's face when I forget to tune the bass before I send him the tracks. So it reminds me to tune the freaking bass. This is the main camera that I use. It's a Canon T3i, standard YouTuber camera, wireless trackpad and everything, tools. Everyone needs tools. This is the interface that I use. It's not very good. It's an Apogee 1. It's really noisy and I need to replace it. MacBook Pro, Xbox One, which is key for mid-edit Rocket League games. And that's hooked up to an Elgato HT60 because sometimes that's fun. Over here is the microphone stand and condenser mic that I use for all of the voiceovers and talking into the camera. This is a cheap pop filter. Microphone is an AKG P120. Gets the job done. Behind that jack rack, a buddy of mine got this for my birthday. He saw it in Kickstarter and thought that I would love it. And he was right. So I've got my keys. And this is a sunfish or a mola mola. And my girlfriend made it, named it Agu. And when I was looking around the room, when I was first creating the channel for a name, I saw this thing. So that's why it's called Agufish. If I actually thought that people were gonna watch my videos, I probably would have named it better, but there you go. The channel's named after a stuffed fish. Studio decorations are also obviously very important, so I've got these two hanging above my desk. Huge Metallica fan, huge Liverpool fan, and I think these two look really cool. These are the lights that I use. I use two of them. They're just basic box lights from Amazon. They are super bright. I mean, look at that. Koji! Yeah, and this is a sneak preview of something. Oh wait, actually, that demo is gonna be out before this video. Whatever. Alright, so yeah, there you go. Reverse surprise, it's a Jet City 100 HDM. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this brief, kinda awkward rig rundown video. This is my current setup for 2017, and hopefully it continues to grow from here. Thanks so much for watching, you've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.